go.
Hello everybody, you are here with me in Northern Ireland. I am very excited to run through Grand Tableau and the Lenormand cards and the directional qualities that we have therein and how we can actually use them to determine predictions in a 12-month spread. Ignore the mess. You have to bear with me on that, and you may have to bear with a little bit of overexcitement as we have just finished watching the Grand Prix and seeing our favorite driver win. So a little bit bouncy at this side of the pond. So I am going to run it through Lenormand. For those of you watching on YouTube, I'm Tony, founder of the World Divination Association and the Card Geek on social media. If you want a GT read from me today, please write down, hey, yes, I would love a Lenormand GT. Let me know if there's any particular area that you want to look at. And I will be picking probably a couple, maybe 3 out to do it with. Hi, Yasmin. Hi, Susanna. Hi, Marlies. There are a few Facebook users. I don't see your name. I'm very sorry. Hi, Christina. Maria, of course. Jane, of course. Hi, Stacy. Stacy would love a GT. Stacy, do you have a direction that you are wanting? Hi, Yannicka. Hi, Joanne. Malkiel's on. He's looking for a lovely Irish gentleman. I should use your deck for that because we actually do have the ginger gentleman in there. Okay, so what we're looking at are the directional cues and how it can actually help you navigate a yearly prediction or any prediction that you're doing, and how you can use those little nuances that are within the Lenormand deck that actually really do add to things. What happened 9th of December? Malkiel. Damn it, I forgot to PM you, didn't I? Should have. Well remembered, Gerda. Okay, so what I'll do is I will switch to my overhead and we can start doing some Lenormand divination. If for any reason that you can't hear me when I start over here, please let me know. And I'm looking at Stacy in general to start with. If you saw my last GT live, you will know that I actually start reading as I lay. So Stacy, general, 12 months. And let's see what we've got in Rider. See if I can get it straight today. Clover, ship, house, tree. Oh, look at that, Stacy. You and a partner together. That's a nice setting. 6, 7, snake, obviously. 8, coffin. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, stars and anchors are nice. 17, stork, we'll see where stork falls with rider being in there heading out. 17, 18, 19, so in tower we have crossroads. 20, garden. 21, mountain. 22, crossroads. 23, 24, and I'm wonky. 25, 26, 27, 28, the man's spot, 29, woman's spot, 30, lily, 31, sun, moon, 33, 34. Oh, I'm going to have to push them up a little bit. 35. And that's interesting because, move them up a little bit, just so you can see the bottom four. We've got gardening cross, if you can't see that one properly. It's interesting. I made the mental note that Ryder had landed in Stork. And then we have Stork in the place of Anchor, which shows that there are great changes coming up for Stacey, and that she's actually looking forward to changes. There are changes that are on her long-term life path as well, with it lying in the line of fate and in the house of Anchor. So I won't go straight into reading. I'll tell you a few things that you can make notes of when it comes to directional themes. If you're reading with a deck where the person looks straight forward, I always read left to right. Obviously, if you had a deck where the woman had a direction, you would read in the direction that she's looking. But then there's a few other cards in the mix that, you keep an eye on to see if they add anything to the storyline, if they add any time scales to the storyline. We've obviously done a 12-month period. So month 1 and month 12 is then spread across the spread, with 6 months being at the center, and the timescale development pushing over. The cards that we can look at for more information on timescales, for example, we have Scythe here. And as we know, the danger sides of Scythe is the side that the scythe is hitting. Now, to me, that actually gives you information that this is a timescale that will last longer than a month, because it's pushing out into another card, giving you that additional information of movement or a protracted situation. Similarly here, we've got cross, which I personally don't take as a directional card, but then we've got ship. And ship draws you in a reading. Ship is a movement, and in this deck, it moves from right to left. So we have a movement from cross to coffin. So already we have a storyline that is running across these 4 cards, telling me it's a storyline that is running for at least, if we think of 4 cards as being 6 months, it's running for at least 6 months within this Grand Tableau. I almost said Grand Prix then. Similarly, coffin is also a card I take note of. So we're actually looking at a longer time scale. And as the scythe actually reaps from the other side, it's drawing sun into there as well. So we have a storyline here that actually tells me that within the year period that we're looking at, we have a major storyline that's running for at least, bar 2, at least 9 months of the year that we're looking at. Another card that I would look to is Crossroads, because it splits between the 2 and it pulls into decisions into one, and that pulls you into a scenario as well that you are looking at that spans longer than a month. Clouds is another one, as we have the dark side of the clouds and the light side of the clouds then pulling into a storyline and telling you this trouble that we have in, what it's about, how it gets better, and actually spanning again. We've got 3 cards it spans through there. It's telling us that it lasts for around 2 months within the scenario that we've set. Another one is Stork. And Stork is another movement card. Rider is another movement card. They're all cards that actually bring movement into your spread as you're looking at it, and will tell you more information than just the single card alone. It tells you more about the time scale that's involved in things, with rider and stork being super fast acting. Ship close to woman is also a very fast acting card. Whip and coffin, even the duo of whip and coffin there are cards that say this is happening quick when it's close. So there are a lot of cards within the Lenormand deck that will give you more information on whether a situation is lasting, whether it's a short burst action like Clover, or whether, and Bouquet, for example, or whether it's a longer acting situation as well, even with Anchor in the mix. But here we definitely have a scenario that shows us that it is almost like a theme for the year, because we have 9 months of the year actually filled up with this scenario. I am seeing if there are any questions. Maybe it feels like a Grand Prix. I think my adrenaline is so high right now that I'm not sure where I am at. Very neat. The directional cards being Sideship, Crossroads, and Clouds, of course, Stork. Yep, they all have their own activity. They all add to the mix. The Fox, even, you can take the directional qualities of Fox to see actually what is wrong. And if you have, which we don't at this, if you have 2 cards next to one another and the fox's nose is pointing to one, the fox can highlight where things are actually a little bit wrong in the mix, and you can again pull that into a time scale for your querent. The interesting thing with Stacey's GT is reading left to right, and this is the direct line of sight. The line that the querent is sat in is called the direct line of sight, and they are the actual happenings within your querent's life. The cards then either above, which we don't have here, or below, then performing a support role to this direct line of sight and giving you substantiation on what that direct line of sight is, what those actual happenings to your querent's life are. And the interesting thing with this spread is that we have Rider right at the beginning. And like I said, we have Fox pointing into the past here. This is a whole future GT because I have asked for 12 months going forward. I haven't asked for any past information. But Fox and Rider actually give you a hint, a nod into the past to say, well, there is something that actually especially with Fox sat in Rider as well, you know, it's kind of a double whammy. There is something in the past that Stacey hasn't quite worked through yet, because they're starting and they're giving us that nod to the past to say, wait a minute, there's something happened in the past that's still affecting Stacey going forward. With Lily sitting under Fox, if we remember the early instructions of Lenormand, if it lands above, it's a virtuous place. If it lands below, then that's above the querent or partner, and then below the querent or partner. But we can also apply that to any card. So Lily lying beneath Fox shows that Stacey in the past has been in some way hard done to. And with Moon and Rider, we can suggest that it is something that she's working through, with Moon showing that it's a recognized scenario within your querent's life, and Rider that, you know, that messenger, and saying it's related to the past, is giving us a heads up that there is a situation that Stacey's well aware of, that she hasn't fully worked through yet, in which she was wrong done to with Lily beneath Fox. And I would suggest the other party even involved with Ryder in the mix even also knows that Stacey was hard done to, and it's still lingering around in Stacey's life going forward. So as you see, I've started the time scale here, which is the first month of the GT, and then we span forward into the 12 months. So each step you take along the direct line of sight, each step you take is a little bit further in the timeline. And in her direct line of sight, we do have Fox giving that nod out to the past. We have birds in there giving that nod to it's a situation that is still requiring work going forward. So even going forward right now, the wrongdoing is still being worked upon and causing a little bit of disruption for Stacey going forward. So the first 6 months of the spread, it shows Stacey in a state of still dealing with things from the past, trying very hard to put an end to things of the past, but and trying to move forward, because our querent is actually there within that top line saying, I'm in control of my year ahead, I am in control of my destiny, and very much trying despite these niggles that are within her from the past. It's lovely that the man card falls directly next to her. It is a lovely position. The only thing I would say is that man sits in House of Tree, and it is a signal to me that maybe Stacey isn't sure if this is the right person for her, although she's very much trying to make it be. The tree is confirmed here as well, saying that hard work that she's doing on herself, she's trying to get rid of these niggles, that it's not the right person as well. I'm very much trying to be in control of that sat in house. But it's a lovely position for the two to be in together, despite him sitting in house. Cross beneath, again, shows to me that there are some things about the man that Stacey is not 100% sold on. And that takes us down into this storyline that we said runs across the 9 months. So for me, it's kind of a situation with him where there is a relationship, and that Stacey is probably looking at these cards, going through waves of, I'm going to make this work, and then, oh my God, I can't be bothered, or, oh, I can't overlook that I don't like this about him, and making it into something that is like a showstopper for her. But we do have this floaty ship underneath, this movement underneath, that's very much at odds with the cards either side. So she's trying to go with the flow, but there are some niggles about him and about the past. So her past has affected how she is viewing him. And she rotates between the, I'm going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to make this right. And well, he's maybe not the perfect person for me. So it is a constant, almost roller coaster, with coffin being here and tree next to it, and home, the house card where she sat. You know, you've got the 3 diagonals there of the woman in house, and then house being sat with coffin sandwiched between. So it is for Stacey, although she is at the top, it's a bit of a rocky period, because she's constantly, I don't know, she's kind of making this man sit between a rock and a hard place. Because near him we have the ring, so it is almost like it's blocking him this mountain here. There are things put in the way so that this gentleman can't actually make those promises that he wants to. And it trickles down to him as well. So his feelings are probably hurt in the process of this switch and change all the time. But that scenario will run for, like I say, the 9 months. Because although we start out with Lily, we move into these directional cues that are rolling one another into one until we finally get to Sun. And it's underneath Ring and it's next to Anchor. And I would suggest that once all these emotions and once all this rocking back and forth between whether he's right or wrong actually culminates at the end of the 12 months in a, actually, this is a really good place and this is something that could grow. This is something that could grow into something quite amazing that takes me in the direction of love and a loyal love. But they're very far from Stacey at the moment, and it's probably a case of not being able to see that yet because of all this turmoil. But actually he's quite a good suitor in that aspect, because if we go along the line of sight towards the end of the 12 months, we see Ring and Bear together with Sun underneath, Anchor underneath, showing that this is actually a viable relationship for Stacey. And it's something that can actually grow, because Sun is the growth card, and it can grow into something almost quite playful in its aspect. He could be both friend and relationship dude, and also eke out that those loving feelings that are so far away from Stacey at the moment, eke them out into something more strong growth and a unit, if you like, with the Ring card up there. But he feels he's probably ready a lot earlier than Stacey is. I'm going to have a quick look at the questions. Can you also say something about the man? How is he in it, or is it the woman thinks about him? Absolutely, it's the role that the man has to play. You'll see that I have mixed them up in there. Okay. Thank you for all the comments on the deck. So yeah, I obviously haven't done every card there. I've tried to eke out the directions so you can see how they spread, and we can add more information on breaking down the months by months by actually using that. I will do another one. If somebody has, please write your name in the comments and I will try. I'll just put me on there so you can see me. I'm still here, I promise. Marlies would love a reading, love and work at the moment. No love, no work. Okay, we will do that. And I'll pull out, we'll see what directional cues come out there and how we can use them. I use that deck because the images are so clear to see. I will use a, if I can find, Jane, where's my deck? Can't find it. I will have to count whether I have a full deck here. That's gypsy cards. We don't want that. I'll use the same one again because I don't know what I've done with my Polly's Lenormand. Do you ever read the 9x4? I often read the 9x4. I love the 9x4 because it takes out the line of fate and it's a very simple, straightforward. Malkiel's deck is somewhere. Jane, I'm borrowing Malkiel's deck from your desk. And Jane always has all her cards present, which I don't. Yeah, I took the other one. So I use Malkiel's deck, and it's got the directional cues of the people in there too. And we're doing, oh, what are the subtitles saying, Brant? Do they not like my my Yorkshire? Who am I doing? Marlies. Love reading, love and work. And this is a great show, how you can pick out both love and work, or if either are going to show, sometimes neither show. Let's see for Marlies. So, Marlies, love and work for the coming 12 months. Marlies, love and work for the coming 12 months. I often use Lenormand in my readings as the scene setter. So it's setting the scene for me for what the 12 months will be. And then I'll use a deck like Kipper or Gypsy for the nitty-gritty situations and getting down really into what situations are. So Marlies, 12 months. We have fish in Rider, house, garden, sun, cross. The artwork on this is beautiful, Malkiel, bear, ring, woman. And in this deck, woman looks from right to left, so that's how we read, because her partner then looks at her. And that is the strongest position for a female, and there he is, the lovely ginger guy. So woman's looking directly at him, so we can see how their paths meet. We can also see if he is love or work, obviously, because we've got both. Star is in star. That's Marlies actually truly finding direction, which is a nice thing to see in a GT. Side, ooh, we have whip underneath him. Let's see where Lily's is going to fall. Heart is in the mix. Look, we have already, we can see friendship basis starting, feelings then coming into the mix. And we have snake next to our heart card. And over it, we have the child card. So obviously we do look for which cards cluster together to see where our work life and love life are in the mix. Crossroads, they're clouds. So we have in man and woman, we have crossroads and clouds. They are two cards that bring more in. Fox brings more in. Tree, clover, letter, mountain in here, ship at the bottom, bringing the movement in, and Lily is in anchor in the line of fate. I'm sorry, I've done it wonky again and you can't see them properly, but we have mountain, ship, Lily, and rider at the bottom in the line of fate. So if we are looking for Marlies and whether love will enter her life, we have the heart card somewhat far from Marlies, but we have the ring card in the mix. We actually have cards that suggest good company. So we have child and dog in the mix, which actually shows possibly somebody that is known to Marlies already, or somebody that is within the timescale set actually becomes a friend that Marlies thinks, could there be more than that? But I don't see him as that with the snake next to it. He is in, has garden above his head, another company card. So we have 1, 2, 3 close company cards. We also have Bear, which is a little bit of jealousy in the mix, so people around who are a little bit jealous. But the good company cards, and with him sat beneath it, suggests again that it's either someone that Marlies knows already, or it's somebody that enters her circle of friends within the coming 12 months. He has these two cards beneath him, and they're not two cards that would show to me that he is the perfect option for Marlies. However, he is an option, but he is somebody that comes in with a lot of issues of his own. Maybe that fiery hair is giving him a fiery temperament with these cards beneath, for example. But Marlies also wanted to know about work. So we have the anchor card, and then you look for your other cards to substantiate. Ship is a long way away. Where's the moon card here? Moon is up here. So moon and anchor are together, which are two strong work cards. The ship card for trade is far away. Where's the fish? Where are you, fish? Right at the beginning, but they are in her line of sight. So we can substantiate from this spread a work theme and a romantic theme in one. We can pull out that information as we so wish. Within her line of sight, there's very little as far as directional cues are concerned, which means these are happening in real time and not things that are spanning. We can then see as we go down, these three actually, or with Stork in the mix as well, bring that into a scenario together that crosses the 6 months. So his storyline beneath him is crossing 6 months. So at the 4 or 5 month mark, we have this gentleman entering. And he enters again from the circle of friends. He's someone new she doesn't know, someone she's not really sure of, perhaps. He's with a book in the mix. It's very new to her. It's very surprising to her. He may even, with the moon and anchor there and ring next to her, he may actually be somebody that she is either forced to work with or has to work with, and it leads her then into that direction of becoming more friendly with him. Again, I would look at this in depth because he brings with a lot of discord with him in his temperament. So although he is a very stable person that they will probably be working together, even in a marketing role, for example, with a garden above his head, he's somebody that comes with him with a force, and he probably has a certain amount of ego in the mix when he enters, and that leads to Marlies having these feelings that, yeah, he's a new person, I'm not sure about him, I'm not sure about how good this is. But as time moves on, she kind of puts those feelings to the side to actually see a little bit more about him and get a little bit more comfortable with who he is. And again, this could be in a working environment that but he is very probably quite dictatorial in the working environment and expects hard work from both sides. Let me just have a look at the questions, if there are any. Is there a possibility to do a grand tableau using the gold Lenormand cards? They are on the website as well. I'm sorry, I don't know which ones you are referring to. The card below anchor is birds. So that's that hard work and effort that are in the mix with the actual goals. He's very goal orientated. Uh, but as a timescale, we want to know what's happening with Marlies, and she starts the year in a really good situation, but in a situation where she's sat in the house of coughing, and coughing is beneath her. She's lost her direction in the past. And she's setting out in 2022 saying, right, this is it. I'm going to get my ducks in a row, and I am going to actually get into a routine where I am succeeding. I would suggest that if there was no work, that it was either a layoff or the company had to, like I say, either lay off employees, or it's been a while since Marlies has had permanent employment, or one that she enjoys. And as it's sat in House of Heart, I would say there's a past relationship that has ended too. And that's something that she's trying to get direction for and then move forward, because we have the double direction of the star in star. So a double prophecy, if you like, with star in star. And with it sitting beneath your querent card, she's starting the year saying, whatever happened there, I'm actually going to move on. I'm going to leave it all behind me in 2021, and I'm going to move forward into my year. And as we go through the first 6 months, we have Marlies being very dedicated with our ring card there, very dedicated, despite it being probably a little bit difficult for her to get out of whatever habit she had before, with it sitting in the house of snake. And she's looking at things in a brand new way, especially with Clover in the mix as well. She's looking at things in a brand new way, but there's still that feeling probably of unworthiness with coffin, mice, and snake. And that's something that spans out 4 months. So you can tell your querent there, you know, the first 4 months of the year, yes, you are trying to get on top of it, but there's still a niggling feeling below you that something's not quite right, or you're not good enough. And it's based on these endings that happened in the past. And then she moves through, and we have the bear card there, which is in her direct line of sight. So once she starts applying herself, there are actually new opportunities that come in with this application, and it leaves her in a really positive, good position. If Marlies is seeking work really hard, then we could see something new coming in within the 4 months that makes her feel like she is on the right path again. Although they're not direct work cards, we can suggest she's starting to, with the applications, with the putting herself out there. It's this determination to actually get into a routine of doing it. In the 6 months period, we have cross hit. And beneath cross, if we look, again, yes, it has moon next to it, and it has bear at the other side, but it's very much about circles of friends. It's very much about people around her, and maybe being in somewhat that's in House of Tree, and Tree is all the way down here in Lily. So it is actually affecting her well-being. It's affecting her satisfaction when we get to the 6 months period. But with dog, heart, child in the mix, yes, we have snake, but there is that the new opportunities then bringing new people in, especially our lovely male here, is bringing new people into the mix. And there is that, especially, you know, there's a lack of trust in Marlies that this won't happen again. And it's kind of a dip. So we hit a dip at 6 months, but there's no real reason for it except for self-sabotage, more than likely. And then again, head comes out of bottom, and we start focusing on what the true focus needs to be for Marlies, and that is actually work. So if Marlies focus on her work and getting her routine into gear and getting her direction into gear, then the other parts of life will fit in. So the heart, the romance will actually start to kick up. Her circle of friends will grow, and we start, getting into a more solid position for Marlies, and that's at the 6-month mark. So an advice to my Aquarian would be actually to focus on work so that the other parts can actually benefit from it too. And there we have started pulling everything into the spread. As you see, when I read, I take the top line as well. I take the line of the querent, the direct line of sight, as the storyline from start to finish. And then the other cards I bring in to substantiate more information on that. Think about it as a top storyline, your narrative, what happens from day to day, and the other stuff as things that explain it or bring more information in, or actually show you a sub-story on the situation, especially like here. That's a sub-story. He brings in his own crap into the mix, although he is a very viable candidate here to be a strong person within Marlisa's life, and somebody who can actually bring the moon and the anchor into the mix, as well as dog and heart. But there's these trust issues that continue into the time frame, and again, he brings his own crap into the mix. But outwardly, with anchor ahead of him, he is outwardly and motivated. He's probably somebody who's very straight to the point, and that may be something that Marley struggles with. He's very direct, very straight to the point, and if there are any issues at all, he directs it and he says exactly what's on his mind. I'll take on your questions. 1 second. Sorry, I'm rushing through it so that we can actually get some done. Man is feisty, absolutely. You say good in sales, but ship is far from him, and ship is our sales card. Do you have any tips for my daily GT practice, like tips on how to really tone the card meaning down? I've been spreading a GT daily for a week or two. You don't seem to get too practical. That's a really good question, because daily ways of reading, let's have a look at this. If this were a daily reading, you have to dial it back so much that it applies to a day. So you would say that your querent has things to do, which is the ring, with the stars directly beneath them. You would say they're determined actually to get this done today. Something steps in, and they ended up changing that direction, and probably be spending more times with friends than pointing to the actual things that they're supposed to do. So I would say a person starts her day really determined to get down to all the tasks that need doing during the day, getting a little bit waylaid, speaking with friends, with company cards here, and then realizing and saying, oh my God, I haven't got done what I was supposed to do. I better get on it. And with garden, I better go out. I better get this done. I do have a long list of to-dos. And although I've had this, I've had, you know, time with my friends now, I have to forget that I've wasted a couple of hours, get focused again, and get back on it. And that's how you really, really dial back the cards. And with these, for example, beneath, if you want to pull them all into your daily, I would suggest that, yes, she has direction. She didn't get some things done yesterday that are still written on her list. And the actual stuff from yesterday, she still doesn't get done until we get to here, because all this comes in the way. So she may find new things to do that get in the way. Think about a normal person, me. Maybe I have 10 things on my to-do list. Some of them are from yesterday because I didn't get them finished. So I then get distracted, Gemini, get totally distracted, do a different task. I'm still getting my task done, but I get onto a different one, still getting them done in my mind, but then at lunchtime say, oh my God, you know, I really have to revisit this and actually get some focus to get the things done that I really want to do. And then as the day goes on, because that's your direct line of sight, you move into house and fish, and that's more a case of evening time and relaxing at home, abundance of home, doing things at home. So you dial it back that way, and then you add in this information in the same manner. Let's put me on again, see if there's any questions. Okay, toning cards down, we have done. I'm just looking through. Yes, Maria, we do have courses 50% off at the minute. Whoever wrote about the gold Lenormand deck, write it again, because I actually do not know what that deck is. Susanna, I don't understand you. I'm sorry. I guess you could do it that way. I would not want to limit myself that way. I really don't understand that comment. All the others look like you are asking for reads. The good thing is, on Thursday, I have another live in which I'm running through box spreads, in which I'll be able to answer all your questions. And also, I will be able to do reads for a lot more people, because obviously the GT is 10 to 4 already. And obviously, Christiana Gaudet is on after me. Okay, so if you have any questions, pop them in now, and I will. Did I leave it in Germany? Did I? No, we have everything here. The column or the rows will consider each day of the week. If you did a week read, you can do it that way, absolutely. Where can you order the courses? You can order them on the worlddivinationassociation.com, and you go to online courses at the top right, and you just put the code in, which I think Maria wrote. Bluebird has asked a question about trip to a foreign country. The good thing with the Lenormand is, if you know anything about the Game of Hope, I'm reading with Game of Hope techniques, which is different to what I did today. You can use, to know if it's going to a foreign country, you can use the ship and the birds card, because in the Game of Hope, it refers to ship as being travel, and then the birds as being the Canary Islands. So if you use Game of Hope techniques, you can look for these cards falling close together, and you know that it is a trip far, far away to nicer climes. Would you do a 5-card spread? I would never do a 5-card spread. You will never see me doing one. I don't recommend a 3-card spread either, really. Do a box spread always. Okay, I think there are no more oh no, there are. Excuse me, how should I've done that one? Long term, long way trip. Yes. So on Thursday at 7 p.m. London, you will find me running through box spreads. I'll be able to do a lot more spreads for you. I will be doing the easiest way to read a Lenormand box spread, all the tips that you need to make it really, really easy. And the box spread should be the easiest spread that you lay, and it's the one that you will pull out way more information than if you ever did a 3-card or a 5-card spread. Ditch the 5-card spread. Nobody needs them. Yes, Thursday, 7 p.m. is my next live. Thank you very much for listening me prattle on. It will be recorded, Marlies. It will be on YouTube. I'll see you all on the next one. Thank you so much for being here.